Now that you've actually graded the booklet, it's time to assign the grade that the student earned through our CLEAR system. Metanoia uses a system called CLEAR, and the letters stand for comprehension, length of answers, effort, application, and right answers. If you go to your corresponding discipler's guide, you'll see a page, 2 pages that look like this. And it says at the top, grading guide. You'll want to open up your corresponding discipler guide to that and look at this system. It's important to note that we're not grading each answer under the CLEAR system, but we're grading the overall lesson under the CLEAR system. Did the student overall understand, comprehend what was being taught in that lesson? When it says length of answers, if the student had 1 or 2 answers that were short, but most of them were fairly lengthy and filled with content, then we would give a higher grade for that, even though they had 1 or 2 short ones. The same with effort and application. If they missed 1 question out of an entire booklet, then their grade would be closer to a 5 than it would be a 1 because of the right answer. So it's good to keep in mind that we're grading the entire book overall and not just individual questions. As you take those numbers, there's a number 1 through 5 for each of those 5 letters. You're going to add those numbers up and divide by 5 to get an average. And so if the student got all 5s and you thought they did a fantastic job on their booklet, then that number would be 25. You divide that by 5, and at the bottom of this page is a CAM score. The CAM scores are right here, and that is the average of what you have. And so you divide by 5 and you get the average. So if the average is 5, their CAM score is a 5, then they get a 100. That is their number grade. And so if the next thing you do when you get their grade here is you go back to this all-important student record, and there's a spot here on the record for their CAM score and then their percentage grade. There's one other thing I'd like to talk about. Many of our courses have something known as building blocks. The building blocks are individual papers that while the student sends in a booklet, after the first booklet, when they send in the second booklet, there's a building block that they'll have that they'll hang on to. And they turn that in the next time they turn in a lesson. And so you'll start getting a building block in addition to those. Grade the building block with the same system. If they don't turn it in, then you deduct 10% from their current grade. And that's discussed here on this page. It'll talk about the building blocks under number 2 right there. But those are an additional thing that we want students to do to meditate on scriptures and to teach them to do devotions in the absence of the actual booklet that they're studying. And so go ahead now and record your students' grades, figure out what their lesson is, and record that on the student record, and then we'll go on to the next lesson.